to the conversation. Yeah, we're talking about the Muslim ticket. Of course, you had spoken about it, but lots of Nigerians were awakened to the choice as Shatima has been chosen. And one of the newspapers this morning cited that the spirit of 1993 is upon us as Tinubu speaks on picking the Muslim running mates. And this morning, I really want us to look into the dividends of democracy in these sectors: the justice system, the security. Of course, I'm going to break it as we progress, and the economic development. Now, let's start with democracy 29 years after. Let's look at the judicial system.
Yeah, good morning, Dako, and good morning, listeners. Dako, the problem is that you pack a lot of things in one discuss.
Yeah, that's because Nigeria is that heavy right now. Lots of things are happening.
A lot of things I imagine it being, per second.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. The Nigerian democratic development, the judicial system.
Yeah.
Dako, I think this is an evolving process. It's a process. The problem that we have is that a lot of persons misconstrue democracy to be a happenstance. They think we think democracy is a destination. Actually, democracy is a process. It keeps evolving, and as it evolves, it keeps refining. Now, judiciary is an important arm of government. We have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The judiciary is very important in the sense that it is the arm of government that interprets what the law says. And it's also an unbiased arbiter in case of disputes. And if you realize that democracy is a system that allows people to have opinion, a diverse opinion, you agree that disputes will be part of the daily development in democracy. People will be bound to disagree with each other. And that is where the judiciary plays an important role, to be able to arbitrate between parties when they disagree. And the question you have asked is, how have we fared in the judicial sector?
Yeah.
The truth of the matter also that I will say is that every society gets the government it deserves. Like I have defined that the judiciary is an arm of government. If you expect that the government will be totally different from the image that the society presents, then you are dreaming. On that basis, you realize that the plague of corruption that has followed the Nigerian society, or that we have indulged as a people, because the truth is that we as a people indulge corruption. Everybody believes that the other person is going to do the right thing, not himself or herself. I believe that people are going to redeem Nigeria. Why I see that to benefit from the redeemed Nigeria? You realize that there's no individual convictions to play our individual part in the building of a nation, realizing that the corporate image of a society is as a result of aggregation of individual characters of the people that make up the society. What am I saying? I am saying that the judiciary has done as well as the society could allow it to do, because the players in the judicial system are people from the society. The lawyers are the people from the society, people who got up, went to school, had degrees in law, went to law school, were called to the bar, and they practiced the law. It is from that group that the magistrates are taken, the customary judges are taken, the high court judges, state high court judges are taken, the federal high court judges are taken, the appeal court judges are taken, and the Supreme Court judges are taken. And you realize that brilliance is not the problem we have in Nigeria. Mental content is not the problem among the players in the judicial system. They have the mental capacity to deliver a robust honest and just society by the judgments that they are produced from the court. But that problem, singular problem remains corruption. A person steals money. Public money, that's what I mean now.
Yeah.
Money. A legal counsel whom he gives 100 million, which is a lot of money, Dako, to go ahead and define him. The person moves around and looks for all manners of technical loophole to show that the person had not been proven beyond reasonable doubt, underline that word, reasonable doubt, that he stole the money. And one of the things that unfortunately happened is the huge overhang, the allegations that stare the members of the bench in the face. These are realities that judges are alleged to collect monies and gratifications to influence judgments one way or the other. And that is why you see a lot of judgment tumble as we move from the lower court to the higher courts.
True.
Even those judgments for the higher court, sometimes they become questionable, even to the ordinary Nigerians that are not even members of the bench. Now, another part of corruption that has thrilled the judiciary is nepotism. People who are from their families, their relatives, into the bench, into the inner. It's supposed to be the most sacred temples of justice. Because there are a lot of allegations out there, you can even feel them, that the way the high court judges are appointed by the members of the executive who nominate and send to the National Judicial Council is such that they choose those who are going to do their bidding. Those who are going to dance to their whims and caprices. There is another dimension that we see where older persons in the judiciary try to bring their offspring, their children. Somebody is retiring as somebody she thinks is a legacy, is competent or not to become a senior advocate. The process of selection, Nigerians have the perception now that it has been largely politicized. So it doesn't carry the level of respect and integrity that we saw a couple of years back. Now, he hears stories about getting persons who do not know enough about the law into the bench. You go to court, you see where judges are. Well, we have respect for them, but you begin to imagine what is going on. The way that what do stuff in this case. You expected that. But these are reflections of the society.
Yeah.
I'll give you a challenge. Go and look at anybody who has become the Supreme Court judge or justice of the Supreme Court. See where the children are. Almost always their children are judges at the lower court. Be prepared to come to the higher courts. Just take a look. I would to mention names, but I mean this is the public domain. So go and look at people who are appeal court judges. They prepare their folks, people from either their children or their relatives or their cronies, and put them in the courts. The judges of the court are no longer selected as a matter of merit and competence in being able to deliver justice at the temple of justice. And the shadow has been pursuing us as a people. That is why people allege of procurement of judgment these days. We're coming from the background of where interim injunctions are flying around indiscriminately as they have become a current bread in the market. But that's part of the thing. But I'm not saying this to deride the judicial system.
Yes.
I'm saying it to realize where we're coming from. Part of these problems are problems that we inherited from the military junta, the militarization of mentality and psyche of the people. You know, we come from the background where we have military administration, where orders were given and orders must be obeyed.
Yeah.
And who are you to challenge a military general or leader, as it were?
Yeah.
So we have situations where judges perform their duties with trepidation. They were afraid. I mean, if I deliver judgment against the interest of the military ruler or rulers, what will become my fate and the fate of my family?
True.
So they kowtowed one way or the other.
Wow.
So having emerged from that scenario, it will take some time to begin to build a society of sanity where meritocracy and integrity will be the hallmark of selecting those who preside over the revered temple of justice. Because, I mean, that is should be the last resort of everybody.
True.
To go there, lay bare, naked, as it were, to obtain justice the way justice should be obtained without being afraid that the way things will go, whether anybody was going to compromise the system. So the point is that having this is democracy we are looking at.
Yeah.
So the judiciary is a very important factor in the enthronement of democracy, because one part of democracy is disagreement. Elections are held. There will be disagreement over elections. The judiciary will become a very key player in deciding what has been done rightly to strengthen the will and wishes of the people in choosing. If somebody is the governor of Anambra State, it is to the behest of the people of Anambra State who appoint or who hire the governor.
Yeah.
And the people should have a way of saying, Mr. Governor, we're not going to hire you again. If somebody is in the House of Assembly or House of Representatives, the democracy has a system of saying, we want to recall you because you're not doing well. You're not representing our interest. But a lot of persons will say, are we getting that? I'm going to react by saying that it's a process that keeps improving.
Okay.
The judiciary cannot overnight. No, over time, the system will control the person who is going to preside over the courts drinking alcohol with some members of the judiciary outside the courtroom. And I called something and I said, what is this? Is there no longer ethics in this profession? I mean, he knows that he is people accused of criminal offenses, people who are looking for civil adjudication.
Yeah.
And in front of the court building, you are sitting there over bottles of drink by 8 o'clock in the morning before the court starts by 9. But I am saying that these are things that, as we proceed as a people, I mean, what democracy has offered us is that we have opportunity to now speak critically against some of these things.
Yeah.
I mean, the Omega radio station probably may not have been able to delve into some of these things in 1989, 1986 or so.
True.
But we can come back now critically. review these situations and say that these things are right. And these days we are beginning to see where people write petitions against the appointment of a particular person as a
That's
judge,
true.
saying that this person is corrupt, this person is not fit for the job, this person has only been a lawyer for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. How could you now, from jumping him or her into the bench, what is he going to preside over?
Yeah.
So people criticize, and probably the National Judicial Council will have no option to say, oh, give us another person. We have had cases in Abia, some part of the country, where a person was appointed, and people protested. The council had to tell the governor to look for another person. So, but I'm saying that these challenges are a reflection of the society.
Definitely.
Because remember my opening statement that everybody believes that other people are going to do the right thing except him or her.
Exactly. Quite interesting.
So you see the wrong thing, you keep quiet. You say they should know how to do it.
Yeah. That's
if they can do it, am I the person that will get it right? But when they see that the society is reacting one way or the other against these things, they begin to sit up and realize that people are becoming informed.
Yeah.
And the democracy is affording the people a voice to actually begin to challenge certain things that hitherto wouldn't have been challenged in autocratic
dispensation
era. Yeah, that's
all right. Okay. Well, you've spoken extensively on the judicial system, but let's move on. Take it some steps higher as we look into security. Of course, I'm going to run through a couple of incidents on the jail breaks in the last 7 years. Was the Enugu maximum prison. Moving on, we had December 27th. 2017, medium security prison in Niger State. October in Kogi State. Still on the jailbreaks, October 19, 2020, Benin and Oko prison in Edo State. Away from that, October 22, 2020, Okitupupa Correctional Center in Ondo State. April 5, 2021, Owerri Correctional Center, Imo State. June 8, 2021, Jos Custodial Center, Plateau State. September 13, 2021, we had Kaba Correctional Center in Kogi State. October 2022, 2021, we had Abolongo Medium Security Custodial Center, Oyo State. November 28, 2021, Jos Correctional Center, Plateau State. January 2, 2022, Mandela Prison, Ilorin, Kwara State. May 13, 2022, Agbo Prison, Delta State. And most recently, the Kuje prison attack in the heart of the nation's capital and seat of power is the latest. That seems to be most daring of the attacks. However, we got this report coming from the Senate President Ahmad Lawan saying that he was disappointed that there was no CCTV in Kuje prison. And also the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, said that the federal government had fortified security in all correctional centers before the recent attack. Meanwhile, Huriwa, the civil rights advocacy group, they're saying that the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, must be sacked with immediate effect. Now, over to you on security.
Thank you, Dako. It's a very delicate matter, but I'm going to go this way. Democracy has its own upside and downside. One of the things that happens in democracy is that a lot of persons have liberty to associate with people and do what they want to do that's not against the law. That's one side of democracy. And that side comes with a low side that sometimes people do what may not be acceptable to society because the law has not stipulated against it. So you see those people claiming the right and getting away with it. One of the things as the people who are argue in favor of military dictatorship because people find it difficult to express themselves. But in democracy, people challenge even security agencies. People challenge even authorities when they feel that the security agencies and authorities are not respecting their rights or are not doing the right thing. So it's an era of dialogue. A lot of dialogue is expected in the era of democracy, not like in the autocratic regiments.
Yeah.
So what you see, Dako, is that usually security takes a very big blow in democracies. I want everybody to follow this keenly. Security usually takes big blow in democracies, and it takes some time for the real security to evolve in any emerging democracy. History is replete. If you go to America, Britain, Germany, they have had their own share because the real security can only come from the people. What the security agents will do is to enforce the situation that the people have brought to their knowledge and to do the will of the greater people who society. So coming from an era where there was a graveyard security, a lot of people have been let loose and they want to behave in one errant way or the other. And like I said, people will see people who are trying to commit crime, they keep quiet because they believe they are not government. And they also get afraid because sometimes when they report to the security agents, there will be repercussive action against them. Even their own security will be jeopardized. So they will rather keep to themselves than jeopardize their own security. So over time, you see effusions of insecurity here and there. From 2015 to now, we have had 14 jailbreaks. You can try the country. We have had about 14 jailbreaks. And it looks like the situation could be worse now. In 2020, in October 2020, there was the anti-SARS riots.
Yes.
I spoke in a lot of media houses. I said that was not a good omen for Nigeria. Yes, it was a sign that Nigerians could protest for what they didn't want. But the dimension it took, was that it totally faced the police. The police is a very important law enforcement agency in a democratic dispensation. But in fact, what happens in democracy is that as the police is supposed to get stronger, while the military will recede back to protect the territorial integrity of the Nigerian states. And as a matter of fact, every country that's democratic. If you go to the democracies that we emulate, you ask yourself, how many times do you see their soldiers, interfacing with the civilians? So because the military has held sway in Nigeria for a long time, they diminished the police. They decapitated the police. They did not fund the police properly. In fact, they classified police as part of the bloody civilians. So over time, now that we'll march in the practice of democracy, it was taking our leaders longer time to build a stronger police system. And alas, in 2020, because of the misdemeanor of operators of SARS and the extrajudicial activities and illegal activities that they were involved in, the Nigerian youths refused and demanded an end to SARS. And it followed that a lot of persons like that and even started attacking police installations. What the damage that did to the society was trying to enthrone a policeless state. I shouted. Some of us wept to cure a minor illness. We were inflicting very bad. Statistics show that if I talk until now, they have enrolled in an agency to about corruption a while earlier. The corruption has pervaded a lot of the systems that we run in Nigeria that is actually undermining, it has undermined the system, Nigerian systems from performing averagely or even optimally. Now, a lot of persons who were suspected to have corrupt intentions, quote unquote, it was alleged that some persons who were involved in criminal ventures, 419, and so-called Yahoo Yahoo, people who were involved in some things that we are not very clean, bankrolled the SAS riots, in a bit to get the police out of the way. Yes, the police had their problems. I mean, so the moment the police has been cowed, if you now call the police before the police will come out of those days, what kind of vehicles they have, they need to bring petrol to the station before the criminal act has been done and dusted. That is why you could have jailbreak. Jailbreak is not a spontaneous thing. People sat and planned it.
True.
Prepared to execute it and got it executed. I mean, for instance, if you talk about the Kuje Correctional Center break, you could wonder. A lot of persons may be imagining. Imagining it. I passed through the correctional center on Sunday. On Tuesday night that happened because it's on the way to the Nnamdi International Airport in Abuja. It's an area that has a clearance that, I mean, people didn't live close to the correctional center. You would have expected a correctional center that was well fortified if it was keeping that class of criminals or alleged criminals in the facility.
Yes.
So one would have expected that the system would have been conscious of that. And it was reported that intelligence were everywhere, that there were bound to be attacks on correctional facilities without mentioning the names. And having had a kidnap in the Kaduna train hijack, where part of the negotiation was the release of some insurgent leadership. And it was known that very many of the leaders of those insurgent groups were kept in Kuje prisons. If the group is demanding for the release of these people, I mean, common sense would have made us to know that there should be maximum security in those areas. In fact, they should have been moved out from that area and kept in another place to distract them. But what we had is the sloppy nature of the Nigerian system. That I'm a public servant. The public service is part of the problem in the society. People are lackadaisical. The attitude of people to their work is nothing to write home about. So if you go to the police station, you will see the image of Nigerian security system. You see a system that doesn't have a paper for you to write a statement. The Bible will be borrowed from the accused person for him to write a statement. So at the end of the day, you even see the hygienic nature of the station. It tells you the situation. I have gone to high-level police stations or even police headquarters where people are not supposed to pass through without identifying themselves properly. But if you dress properly, you can pass through the gate without anybody asking you. Just dress like a senior policeman on mufti. You just walk as if you know where you're going to. Nobody will talk to you. So it tells you that the situation in the Nigerian correctional system is a very sorry situation. We do know that because of corruption, in the Nigerian correctional system scattered all over the country, you see inmates using telephone. When I say telephone, it's not all over the world. Inmates are allowed to make calls. You go to the table of the correctional officer. You are given a certain number of minutes to call a specified number of persons that has been verified, and what you are saying is recorded. So that happens once in a while. But I'm talking about where cell phones are smuggled into the facilities use telephones, and they even conduct illegitimate businesses. We have had stories of inmates in correctional centers, naira and even $1 million drug deals.
Yes, whilst in custody.
And all they need to do is to settle the officers working in correctional facilities, give them a lot of money. We have had stories about inmates in correctional facilities having to even go out to visit their girlfriends, permit for using that word. Go to hotels, stay with their girlfriends, their partners, come back later and pay the allegedly pay the people working there. We have had situations where hard drugs in their head are common sights in correctional facilities. They're smuggled and traded there as if nothing is happening. So if such things happen in correctional facilities, essentially because of corruption and compromise, it will be very easy for you to compromise the facility, and such incessant jailbreaks. You won't be surprised that such jailbreaks occur. And so it's a system that is riddled with corruption, and corruption is dealing a lot of blow on the Nigerian society.
Yeah.
The security systems and correctional facilities are not exempted, and that's why you'll be surprised, because it will be easy for people in the Kuje correctional facility to communicate with their members outside and tell them the routine that happens in the center. Tell them when the exchanges of officers happen. Tell them when the officers will retire to go and eat, or for people when they usually get lousy. I mean, for the Senate president to come out to say he was disappointed that there was no CCTV camera, I call it lamentations of a leader. The Nigerian sector, all the things that happen in the country, and the correctional facility is an exclusive reserve of the federal government. So it is in the purview of the National Assembly to have an oversight on the correctional facility. How often has the committee in charge of the Nigerian correctional centers visited the facilities to inspect the level of security in the facilities? Government has the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And let me tell you, Dako, the legislature is a flagship of democracy. In military dictatorship, you have the executive, that's the Supreme Military Council, or whatever they call themselves then. Excuse me. Then you had the courts, but you didn't have the legislature. The legislature is a symbol that represents democracy. It's a symbol that represents democracy. And for an arm of government which has jurisdiction in oversighting the facilities and activities of the executive, which has obviously not done his job, to come out and say that he is disappointed, who would have wanted to see his disappointment in his resignation.
Quite interesting.
As I said, that's the point. If it was irresponsible, they probably would have sent the Senate president to say, who would have accepted that the National Assembly did not do its job. I saw Senator Ali Ndume, who was more responsible in his own response. He said that we have failed. We failed in our duties. Rather than going to push back and pass blames to other people, to say, I'm function. What did you do? But everybody believes that the other persons are going to do the right thing except him or her.
Exactly.
So it is trying to evade responsibility, evasion of responsibility. You enjoy the spoils of power, but you don't see where it has been a responsibility to do the right thing. So the point I'm saying that it's a collective problem, ostensibly that culminates in such thing. Activities around the society.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
see in the kind of things we do, attacking security agents and killing them. See, I want that the moment we take out all the security agents, we will not have any person to call to respond when there is security emergency. That's why we need to all take responsibilities for building a good society.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's one of the difficult areas of democracy. So it's not enough for us to it's in rebuilding a new police. That's predictable. If you have the military barracks station to maybe if there is no commander that says move, nobody moves. If there has a command to take action. Are going to commit crime, the police will arrest you. We must sit back as a country. If it can work for us, you can't. Population of need to have that can produce. At least see. Public to deliver without having excuses. And the welfare of those who volunteer to serve or who offer to serve as policemen must be taken care of so that what they think is patriotism and national service at this point in time all United Arab Emirates developed their systems. Now Nigerian professionals are practicing in Saudi Arabia. These are countries that have $2. There are even countries that never even had natural resources. Countries like Singapore, in areas that they have comparative advantage. So we were importing water to drink. It's a special type of Nigeria. Nigerians were importing rice. System. So Nigerians the negative because you employ because of you import. And these neglects to build Nigerian economy over time that should be resilient on global phenomenon. We had COVID. Now the reality you talk about the bickers.
Yes.
The reality is that corn that are used in the confectionery industries are imported from Russia and what's the neighbor that they're fighting with?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Now, because Russia blockaded the Black Sea in Ukraine, where Ukraine is supposed to export their grains from, there is a scarcity of grain, and it's affecting the confectionery industry. That's why bread is becoming a problem, and that's why you have bakers complaining about the cost of baking.
True.
So you cannot have a society where you are living in consumerism. Even the things you could do. I know it is a convenience. It will be very easy for me to sit down here and say, oh, the Buhari administration destroyed Nigerian economy. Oh, Jonathan administration destroyed Nigerian economy. Obasanjo administration destroyed Nigerian economy. But the reality is that, well, from the lifestyle of the leaders, a lot of persons who got into leadership and still are getting into leadership now are not going there because they have the capacity to solve the problems of society.
Okay.
They are going there because Nigeria shares money every month.
Quite
they want to loot the money and go to the Western world and buy houses there and build colonies for their children and their offsprings to come. We are not looking for people who can solve the problems of the society, and that is why the society continues to go back. I want us to look at it from a broader perspective, and because people are doing this, you see an average person struggling to get into leadership, not because he wants to serve.
Sure.
You see an average person wanting to get into the police, not because he wants to serve. Because he has his or her, and that is killing the system. And I have told a group of young persons that part of the bigger problem Nigeria has as a society is that the difference between those who are stealing Nigerian money now and those who are not stealing the money is just opportunity.
Quite interesting.
You realize that younger persons are looking for opportunity to get into government just to take their own share. Not because they want to contribute to building the Nigeria. And insofar as we do not begin to build an economy for the future, we are going to remain in this doldrum.
That's true.
We must. Nigeria has an advantage. In fact, the advantage shouldn't be crude oil. We should have used the crude oil to develop sustainable and resilient systems that, I mean, can withstand the global vagaries. See, Nigeria has mineral resources that we cannot process in Nigeria.
Mm.
Almost all the chemicals that serve as inputs in manufacturing processes, almost all are imported from outside Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even the simple ones. I mean, I spoke about people importing as much as water.
True.
So these are the kind of things, and everybody's chasing the US dollar. Taking the dollar to distribute because it is easier for them to carry to carry around.
All right.
And now, no, we are not being mobilized. Into investing in the things we can do in developing the local economy.
Okay.
And it also bothers me that come to a point where we need to sit down as a people, think about the strategic economic development of the Southeast, so that if the rest of the country is not doing well, they could look and see what is going well in Eastern Nigeria. I see that Eastern Nigeria can be a model, but the key into what we are doing, or everybody will collapse.
Okay.
But the funny thing is that everybody is still interested in going to get money from Abuja to share. And as things stand now, more calamity is coming.
Well, we really don't envisage more calamities. We don't make it.
So I'm not a prophet of doom.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this: it's a warning. One of the good things, if you attack Buhari for all you can, one of the good things that has happened is that Nigerians are beginning to look into. I mean, we have been able to produce more rice than we did in the past.
Okay.
In fact, I was wondering what would have happened in the era of COVID lockdown if we didn't start looking back into agriculture production. We need to revamp agricultural system.
Yeah.
The problem I'm talking about, sorry about that, is that because of the high level of subsidy that's in the Federation accounts level now.
Yeah.
So many more states may default in their obligations to their citizens.
Okay.
And the monies that are being shared are drying up. We need to wake up and put on our thinking cap as people.
All right, 1 minute. There's been this little bicker of words with June 12th election. However, that Bola Tinubu, because he also spoke on the APC candidate also spoke on the benefits of the 1993 democracy being reflected. When he talked about the Muslim ticket, he also cited Abiola and Kingibe. I saw on the show.
Well, you have given me an impossible task. Now, politicians are politicians. Whether it is Keyamo, they are the city Nigerians. So they put out political polemics out there.
Coming up next is a commercial about the Super Life Health program. It's still Omega 101.7 FM, my radio, your radio.